Hi, I'm Dr. Bear, and in this video I'm going to give you a quick introduction to MATLAB Live Scripting and some visualization in MATLAB Live Scripts. So this is the basic view when you start up MATLAB. First off, this large area is the command line or the command window. To the left is the current folder. So you can see I'm in an empty folder, so there are no contents shown. This is the path bar. It shows you the path to my current folder. And then on the right, there's the workspace. Here we'll see variables that we define. Up top is the menu bar. It's context sensitive. If you haven't used MATLAB before, I'll just introduce you to the basic use. You can use it in a very simple way like a calculator. So let's just add 5 plus 3 and we get the answer 8. Another level of complexity is if we were to store numbers in variables. So here I've stored 5.4 in the variable b, and now let's store something in a variable c. And then I can add these variables. Or I could even store the result in another variable. So d stores the result of that addition. And then here's another variable. It'll be a multiplication or an exponentiation. Okay, so that's basic use of MATLAB as a calculator. Now let's introduce vectors and matrices. Well, let's start up with a vector. I can make a vector. So there's a vector x with elements 3, 2, 1. I can address the first element, and you can see that gets me a 3. One thing to point out is if I hit the up arrow, I can get my history of commands. I can just select one and then do it again. That's nice. If I want the last one, I know x is 3 elements long, so I put in the third one. Maybe I don't know how long x is. Instead of putting in the 3 for the end, I just type end like that, and it returns the 1, which is stored at the end. Or I could do end minus 1 for the second to the last element. I can make y be a random matrix. This should generate a 3 by 3 random matrix. And then here I can specify I want the first column of y. To do that, I use a double subscript. So all rows, and then 1 for the first column, and that returns the first column. I want the second row, third element, so I do 2, 3 like this. There's the second row, third element. And maybe I want to show the third row, all columns, like this, and you can see I got that row. Okay, so I can type commands into the MATLAB command line. It's much more helpful to put things in a script. So let's show a script here for a moment, briefly. I type new, or click new and click script, and just show you what happens in a script. You can make these much more complex than a set of commands, and they're easy to perform very quickly. That's why we might want to use a script. So in the script, the instructions build upon one another, and you can make very nice and complex scripts. So if I click run, it'll run the script, but I have to first save it as something to the file space. I call it demo script. And then if I hit run, A stores the value 12, which is 5 plus 7. And then B stores the value 3 times b. So it actually chose the previous value of b, so I'll make it better. I should make that an a. 5 plus 7, and then b is 3 times a, which is 12, so that's better. Now I'd like to show you live scripts. I'll close my demo script, and instead of clicking on new script, I'll hit new live script. And now, this is the live script editor, the live editor. And I'm just going to give it a title, so 2% signs. I hit enter, that gives it a title, and then I can start typing commands. So I'm going to define a variable here, and I'm going to comment here by adding %, and everything after the % is going to be a comment, so MATLAB won't evaluate it. Okay, now I'm going to build a vector, and linspace says we're going to build a vector that starts with 0, ends at 1, and then has a total of nx evenly spaced points. So you can see this thing here on the left, it looks like one of those barber poles, and then if I double click it, it evaluates this little block of code in gray, and then it displays my vector here. So I'm going to comment that out because I don't need to see the values. They're sort of distracting, but there are other things we'll want to see later. So next, I'm going to actually divide this into a couple of cells. This grayed out area is one cell, and as you saw, it evaluates with a double click of that barber pole looking thing. But I can divide it, so I'm going to put here parameters. I like to do this because it helps me structure my code nicely. And then I'll put here another division. So you can see I've divided this now, and there are two cells. There's a parameters cell and then a calculation cell. So I can evaluate those independently. I'll put here y, and here I'm using pi, which is a predefined variable in MATLAB. So I have some calculations. If I evaluate that, this solid color here shows me that it's been evaluated. Now I'll make another section, another cell. So I'll plot, and I put the x data and then the y data. So the x data is just this vector, 0 to 1, and then y is the sine of 2 pi x. So let's just see what happens. I'm going to evaluate this, double click, and you can see there's my sinusoid. It's sort of a unclean looking sinusoid because there are only very few points, so I'm going to turn this up. I'll make it 31. And instead of just evaluating each cell independently, I'm going to evaluate them all by hitting this run button, and then I get a much smoother sinusoid. So I like to clean this plot up some. I'm going to first make the data more visible, so I'm going to do that by putting in here a line width option. So the nice thing here is I have tab completion, and then I'll set it to 2. I believe the default is like 1 or even 0.75. Let's see what happens when I evaluate that. So my data shows up much stronger now, and that's good. I also generally like to add a grid, so I can type grid on, evaluate that again, and you'll see the grid. There's a grid there now in the background. Another thing I like to do, especially for publication quality graphs, is I make the axes numbers bigger. So I'll type here set GCA, and we'll put font size, and I'll scale it up to 18. So I think the default is 12 or something like that, so it's bigger. And I might even make it bigger still. And I'm also going to change the font name. I in particular like Times. So that's a nicer looking font in my opinion. Every plot needs labels on the x and y axes. So I'll put x label. I'll just put here x. And then we'll say maybe it's in meters. It's a position in meters. So I'm running everything. And here's my label now, x in meters. But one thing I generally like to do is italicize the variable x. You'll see that's the way it often appears in textbooks. So to do that, I put it in dollar signs. And I also add interpreter and then LaTeX. So I have nice tab completion on that. And if I double click this, you'll see what happens. My x becomes nice and italicized. Now, y label. Let's add a y label. So I'm copying, pasting, changing it to y label. And then we'll just put here f of x, perhaps, something like that. And in fact, to make it clear what I'm going to do, I can put in here text. So if I just hit enter here, I can write text now. And I'm going to put here y equals f of x. But to make that nice, like you see in textbooks, I'm going to enclose that in dollar signs, and then when MATLAB sees that, I believe it should know that we want a equation. Okay, there it is. I think what I have to do is first put dollar sign and then some expression and then another dollar sign, and then it knows. It didn't like me putting the dollar sign on the right and then on the left. You can do nice LaTeX typesetting in your LiveScript here. It adds to the clarification of what you're showing. I'm going to clean up my Y label here, get rid of that meters. And then I'm also going to put in a new one. Let's add a new calculation. So Y2 is going to be cosine. Evaluate that. And then now to plot, you put it in like XY pairs. So XY and then X, because we're using the same X, and then Y2 is the second set of data. And now you can see there are two lines in here. One's the cosine, one's the sine. And of course when you do this, then we need a label. So I can put in here legend. And the first legend is, we'll put here Y, first legend entry. The second legend entry we'll put in here in dollar signs Y underscore 2. And if I evaluate this, you'll see, okay, maybe it doesn't look so nice. The dollar signs are there, but to make it look nice, I'll put in interpreter LaTeX. Okay, so that's the basics of generating a plot in MATLAB in a LiveScript. We can now turn this into a PDF. I often make my students do this. Let me show you how to do that. First, I'm going to save it. So if I hit save, I get to choose a name. And then when I can click on save, I can export to PDF, and it already has the name demo livescript.pdf. I hit save. On another screen, let me pull that in and show you what it produced for me. So here's my LiveScript demo. I have the different cells with their titles, and then I have the plot that I created. So there is our demonstration of MATLAB live scripting. I showed you the basic usage of MATLAB, and then how to do MATLAB in a script, and finally MATLAB in a live script. And it's very nice because you can export to a PDF, and your data and your calculations and your code are all integrated together. I hope you found that useful. Feel free to like my video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks and have a great day.